This is wild. And frankly, the disrespect is loud because the Houston Rockets are slated with a win total of 47.5 wins this year. And a new article dropping on Yahoo Sports asking, can the Rockets win 50 games this upcoming season? And I think that is just disrespectful for this Houston Rockets team after what they've accomplished over the last two seasons in the regular season. We're not talking playoffs. We're talking the NBA regular season. We'll dive into all of that and what it's going to take to be successful this season for the Houston Rockets to get to a third straight 50-win season for the upcoming year. Welcome in, everyone. I am your host, Munaf Manji. Glad to be back with you guys. And look, I mentioned this a couple videos ago where the Rockets win total for the season was sitting at 47.5 wins. And for those of you that are not familiar with betting terms, no worries. I'll explain it for you clearly. Every single season, the books put out a win total, meaning how many wins they think a respective team is going to win for the upcoming respective season, right? Whether it's MLB, whether it's NBA, whether it's the NFL, and specific for us, for the Houston Rockets for this upcoming season, they have their number set at 47.5. And what does that mean? So they think that you're able to obviously bet on this, meaning that if you think the Rockets are going to have more than 47.5 wins, meaning 48 or more, you would bet on the over. If you think it's not going to be a great season for whatever reason, you would go under 47.5 wins. And of course, that would mean having 47 or less wins for this Houston Rockets team. We'll dive into all of that and why I think this is going to be a third straight season for the Houston Rockets where they will have 50 plus wins. But before we get into all of that, I need a huge favor from you guys. If you haven't already, do us a favor, hit that subscribe button on this video. We have 8,848 subscribers. We're on the march to 9,000. We're only 52 away from accomplishing that goal. I think we could get to 10,000, frankly, by the end of this month here in August here. But again, if you haven't already hit that subscribe button on this Rockets channel, please go ahead and do so. If you have already, thank you so much for doing that. And do us a favor, share this channel with a fellow Rockets fan or NBA fan in your life. So let's get into it here, right? An article dropping on Yahoo Sports asking the question, can the Houston Rockets win 50 games in the upcoming 2026-2027 NBA season? And as I mentioned, right, this Houston Rockets team, dating back over the last two seasons, have won 50-plus games, right? Year one of Coach Ime Udoka, when he was hired in the 2023-2024 season, they got to 500 basketball. They were 41-41. And that was a transition year, right? When you have a new head coach coming in, he's going to have new schemes. He's going to have an offensive system, new defensive system, player personnel evaluation, which players are going to be on his roster, and how he can create a successful basketball team, not only for the regular season, of course, because you have to win enough games to get into the playoffs, but also building a championship caliber roster, right? 41-41, even Stevens, that first year under Coach Udoka. Fast forward a year or two, they get to 52 wins, right? And that was the year, obviously, without Kevin Durant. They had Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, one of the best defensive teams, if not the best defensive team in the NBA that year. Got to 52 wins, got into the playoffs, and lost in the first round, of course, to lost to the Warriors in that playoff series, right? Year three under Coach Udoka, they get to 50 wins, and have 32 losses, right? They finished up as the number 5 seed in the Western Conference and ended up playing the LA Lakers in that first round. Did the Houston Rockets. This was 52 wins this past season. Let me correct myself. 52 wins this past season for this Houston Rockets team. And look, a lot of it was predicated on, let's go back into the beginning of the season, right? We talked about no point guard position, or Fred VanVleet wasn't there, right? Because of the injury. They still got to 50 plus wins, right? And I think that's very impressive for a team that had the void at the point guard position. First year with Kevin Durant, there was a lot of hype around him. And last year, This was a team that had a win total of what? I think 52 and a half, 50 and a half, 51 and a half, if I'm not mistaken. Now let's talk about this upcoming season, right? For this Houston Rockets team. We've talked about everything that's happened over the offseason, right? Didn't really trade for a point guard. They're hoping that Fred VanVleet can, I don't want to say return to form because it's going to be very difficult for him to do that. But let's talk about the surrounding pieces, right? I think when you have a team that has had this chemistry with the core guys, right? Let's talk about Alperen Şengün, the Jabari Smith, Amen Thompson, Reed Shepard entering his third year. Guys like that have familiarity and how they play with each other, I think is very, very important. Let's not forget, I'm talking about the regular season here. We're not talking about the playoffs because this article mentioned, can the Rockets win 50 games this upcoming season? I absolutely wholeheartedly think that they can because they do have the talent on this roster, right? I think the Western Conference in general is taking a step back for this upcoming season, right? Let's take a look at the standings again from this last year, right? OKC, let's start there with the number 1 seed in the Oklahoma City Thunder, right? They lost some depth, but you expect this team still to have 55 plus wins for the upcoming season, right? They lost Isaiah Joe, they lost Lou Dort, lost some couple other guys off of the bench, and they took a hit on the depth. Spurs, I think, are going to be right back where they were. I think another 57 plus, even a 60 plus win team for this upcoming season. Didn't do a whole heck of a lot in the offseason, but they really didn't need to, right? Denver, I think, takes a step back as well. Their depth is really a huge question mark for this. For their upcoming season. Lakers, obviously, the post-LeBron era. They added a whole new roster around Luka Doncic. I think the two teams right there, 5 and 6, right? More importantly for our Houston Rockets, is that they still have the same core group of guys, right? It took a little bit maybe for Kevin Durant to get acclimated with his new teammates, but you're expecting improvements from the young guys, and I think that's what's going to be the difference if this Rockets team can win 50-plus games or if they fall in that range of 45 to 49 wins, right? Like I mentioned, the win total right now is posted at 47.5 for this Houston Rockets team. But again, we take a look at last season where they had a lot of success at Toyota Center. 30-11 was the record for this Rocket team on their home court. That's something that you want to protect year in and year out. You want to be a really good home team. And on top of that, you also want to be a great road team as well, because that's the difference between great teams in the not only the playoffs, but also the regular season. But again, that was an area that the Houston Rockets did struggle with in year 2 under Coach Udoka, right? So you take a look, as I mentioned, this past season, they had 30 wins at home and 22 and 19 on the road last year, right? And then the year before, they had 50 wins to 32 losses. So they've improved every single year under Coach Udoka as far as winning games in the regular season. As I mentioned, I know Kevin Durant is going to do Kevin Durant things. Şengün, you can make the same argument as well, right? Offensively, he's going to be fine, but also what you want to see him do better is on the defensive side. The key, again, is going to be, can Jabari Smith take that next step? Can Amen Thompson take that next step? Can Reed Shepard take that next step for the Houston Rockets team and take a lot of the pressure off of guys like Kevin Durant having to go out there and score 26, 27 points per night? So I 100% think the Rockets can get 50 wins again and again. If you want to be a top 4 seed and have at least home court advantage in the first round of the playoffs, you are at minimum going to have 50 plus wins, right? Because we saw it last year, 53 from the Lakers, 54 from the Denver Nuggets, and as I mentioned, 60 plus wins for the Oklahoma City Thunder and the San Antonio Spurs, right? So the players that I'm looking out for to really gauge these wins and get us to this 50 win mark again for a third straight year under Coach Udoka are the younger guys on this roster. And I wholeheartedly believe that they are going to take that next step, right? There's tape out there with, video out there with Amen Thompson looking really explosive in a scrimmage alongside his brother with Cade Cunningham, Cam Boozer, some of those younger guys that are out there. And I think that's the next guy that's going to really take a huge leap for this Houston Rockets team. And also, we didn't talk about the depth, right? Let's talk about the depth chart for this Houston Rockets team for the upcoming year. And, right, you signed Marcus Smart to give you some type of guard depth, right? And there was a question that was posed to Coach Udoka, asked that if and can Marcus Smart take on the role of what Dillon Brooks brought to this team in year 2 under Coach Udoka. And he said he's optimistic that he can, right? Because You brought in Marcus Smart to give you some type of depth behind Fred VanVleet, right? You still have Bruce Thornton that you drafted, of course. You brought in Bogdanovich to give you some more shooting around, Kevin Durant and Alperen Şengün. So I think collectively, again, I'm just talking about regular season here, guys. This is just regular season. Can this team get to 50-plus wins? I wholeheartedly believe that they can for a third straight year under Coach Udoka. Again, 51, 52, 53 wins in that range for this Rockets team. So I'm curious to know what you guys think about this upcoming season. Can the Rockets get to a third straight 50-win season? If you do think they can, let me know your reasoning why, right? We're trying to bring the community together here and reasoning and understanding each other. Obviously, look, the elephant in the room is always health. That's you're going to make that case with any team. And that could be either the difference between getting to in the playoffs or not getting to the playoffs, or having 50-plus wins or not having 50-plus wins, right? But assuming that everybody is healthy, I don't think there's a reason why the Rockets should not be a 50-plus win team. And I frankly think that that's disrespectful for this Rockets team as constructed right now. Again, I want to reiterate, this is just the regular season that we're talking about. And again, once the schedule does get released, we'll dive into all of that and what that looks like for this Rockets team. Because again, you do play your division 4 times each year. You play the Western Conference opponents. I think it's 3 teams you play 3 times, and other teams you play 4 times, and then also you play the opposing conference, Eastern Conference, twice, which makes up the 82 games, of course, including the NBA Cup games as well. But again, let me know what you guys think. Can this Houston Rockets team win 82 games? That would be phenomenal. Can they win 50-plus win games for this upcoming season? Let me know your reasoning in the comments below. Again, if you haven't already liked and subscribed the video, please go ahead and do so. Subscribe to the channel, hit the thumbs up on this video, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Till then, have a great day, and I'll talk to you guys down the road.